Welcome to episode 3 of our Minnesota Hiking Club Trail series. Today, we're going to be hiking the Silver Creek Trail located in Jay Cooke State Park. I am told that this is one of the most scenic of the hiking club trails. So we're going to cross the iconic swinging bridge. We're going to venture deep into the woods along the Silver Creek Trail. It's about a 3.5 mile loop. It has river views, rocky gorges, and along the way, I'll tell you the story of Jay Cooke. But first, wow, look at this view. I mean, right out of the parking lot, this pretty much sums up what you're in for the whole hike. It is absolutely beautiful. Stick around to the end. I have some more of these 360 shots of the waterfall and the gorge. But for now, let's go hiking. The Silver Creek trailhead is easy to find. It's right there in the parking lot next to the visitor center. You're going to be looking at around a 3.5 mile hike, or around 5.6 kilometers. Super well marked. You can follow the signs. You can follow all trails. There are a lot of desire paths along the hike, so you can check out more of the waterfalls and more of the rock formations. I highly recommend you take as many of the side quests as you feel up to. Some of them have picnic tables, so bring a snack. I always have snacks. Yeah, so let's get into this trail. These are some of the paths that'll lead you closer to the river. We will take a better look at that towards the end of the video when we get back with the 360 camera. But for now, we're going to follow along the hiking club trail. Do be respectful of some of the resource rest areas. They're trying to regrow some of the vegetation. You will see those little blue signs that say hiking club trail. You can follow those. It's about right here when all trails started to get upset with me. I decided to follow the hiking club trail signs. All trails eventually sort of did work it out, and I ended up hiking the exact same path as all trails, but it wanted me to take the loop counterclockwise versus clockwise. Both of them work. The first time I did this trail, we did it counterclockwise, the all trails way. This time, I just followed all the hiking club trail signs, and right away, as soon as you're past that beautiful swinging bridge, you are deep in some beautiful woods. I love this part. It kind of reminded me of home, which is Georgia, but it also is completely different. These ferns are really big. Everything is super lush and grown in. Yeah, so I was just having a great time. I basically had the trail to myself until the end, so that would be one of my big tips. You want to get here early before the crowds, because there was a lot of cars when I left. There was a lot of people down by the water and on the trail by the time I got off. So make sure you get here early if you enjoy hiking in sort of quiet solitude. And yeah, more desire paths down to the water, more places to sit, more views. I might as well just let you know this is for sure a Tzumi Woods approved trail, and just look, wow. So after a short hike alongside the river, you then turn and start to head deeper and deeper into the woods. And I gotta say, it's so beautiful. It's almost breathtaking how beautiful it is. The birds are singing. There's gonna be butterflies flying around. There's wildflowers. There's gonna be morel mushrooms. Yeah, here's the butterfly. It's such a beautiful walk through the woods. It is essentially what hiking is all about, so make sure you take your time at this part. There's that familiar blue blaze of the Superior hiking trail. I can't wait to finish that completely. There's a little bit of elevation gain on this trail, but overall it's mostly flat or mostly meandering type elevation gains. There's a whole bunch of other trails that you can take here. Today we're staying focused on the hiking club trail, but I cannot wait to get back to hike the rest of Jay Cooke State Park. But yeah, the Silver Creek Trail leads to a whole bunch of other adventures. Look, morel mushrooms. I think. Maybe they're false morels. I don't know. I didn't pick them. I followed Leave No Trace. Absolutely beautiful day for a hike. It was a little warm, but the canopy kept me nice and shaded. Here's a cool side quest to a picnic table that overlooks Silver Creek. It's way down there, so you're not really going to get a great view of the creek, but I promise it's there. And yeah, we just continue through the country. It's a beautiful 3.5-mile loop. I loved every second of it. I'd like to say that the most interesting thing at this intersection is the fact that there's a whole nother trail connected here that I'd love to come back and hike sometime soon. But the most interesting thing is, yes, the hiking club password, which I will never reveal. Mum's the word. Keep it a secret, but do hike the trail and find it yourself. I'd also like to take a second just to say thank you for watching. This is video 3 of my Minnesota Hiking Club series, where I'm attempting to hike all of the Minnesota Hiking Club trails. I am brand new to Minnesota, so hopefully you're getting to see this from the perspective of someone who's never seen any of this before. Oh yeah, quick bug report. First half of the trail, not so bad. On the second half of the trail, definitely a lot more bugs. It's a little more swampy. Not too bad. Nothing like to complain about, but just something I noticed. A lot more flying insects on the second half of the trail. There's also a lot of old trees. You do have to look closely to find them, but there were some nice big old trees if you find them. This is actually the second time I've hiked this trail, and if I had another tip, it would be go slow. You want to make sure you take time to spot all the wildflowers and just all of the natural beauty. It is a stunning trail. It's really interesting. The other side of the trail was super dry. And then on this other half of the trail, it's got some really muddy spots due to the shade. So very cool. It's a bit of a tale of two worlds. Speaking of tales, let's tell the story of Jay Cooke. Jay Cooke was a 19th century banker and financier. He was born in Ohio in 1821, and he's mostly remembered for his role during the Civil War, but not as a fighter or as a general. The Union desperately needed money, and Jay Cooke stepped in to sell war bonds to everyday citizens. Between 1862 and 1865, he helped raise over $1.3 billion, which would be around $25 billion today. He basically invented the modern public bond campaign using newspapers, ads, patriotic messaging to help get the public involved. And without him, the North, as in the Union Army, might have run out of money long before the war ended. But his story didn't end there. After the war, he took his money that he made selling war bonds, and Cooke turned to railroads. He became the chief financier of the Northern Pacific Railway, which aimed to link the Great Lakes to the Pacific Ocean. And that's when he set his sights on sleepy, tiny Duluth, Minnesota. You see, in 1868, Cooke traveled to Duluth, which was just then a small frontier town, and scouted the region for himself. He took a steamer up the St. Louis River, and then he switched to horseback and hiked on foot when the river got too rough. His route took him through the gorge near Thompson and Carlton, in which today sits Jay Cooke State Park. So it's almost certain that he stood near or on the land that you're hiking right now. He was so impressed by the area's potential that he bought land along the river and pushed to make Duluth the terminus for Lake Superior and Mississippi Railroad. Back then, Duluth was a small town with less than 300 people. So when he made this decision to make Duluth the terminus for the Lake Superior Mississippi Railroad, it helped jumpstart Duluth's growth. And Cooke backed it up with major investments. He opened the city's first bank. He built docks, churches, warehouses, and even planned to power a factory using the river near Thompson. But then came the Panic of 1873. The Northern Pacific Project ran out of money, and his entire financial empire collapsed. It triggered a nationwide depression, and Cooke, once one of the richest men in America, lost everything. Still, his influence on the region was lasting. Even though the industrial dreams, or schemes, if you want to call it that, didn't pan out, the land he once explored eventually became protected parkland, and when the park was established in 1910s, they named it in his honor. Not just for the railroad investments, because he really did come to this region. He really did walk these ridges. He really did follow this river, and over 150 years later, we're hiking in the same land. I hope you enjoyed that short little bit of history. If there's any historical facts I missed about Jay Cooke or the Silver Creek Trail, feel free to add a comment below. I mentioned this earlier, but this is 110% a Tzumi Woods approved trail, so please get out there and hike this just whenever you can. Excellent trail. Thoroughly enjoyed it. I can't wait to come back here in the winter and do some cross-country skiing because If you're a native to Minnesota, don't laugh, but the most snow I've ever seen can be measured in inches. So I look forward to seeing an actual big snowstorm. Oh yeah, this tree just took my breath away. Like I said, if you look closely, you will find some old growth scattered throughout the forest. And wow, look at this ancient beauty. All right, we are basically back to where we started to loop from. This is sort of the direction that All Trails wanted me to go. I instead followed all the hiking club signs. Again, it's a loop, so both directions work. I always find this fascinating too. The state parks where I'm from only have one map, and it's for the whole year. We don't have a summer, winter map. Thank you again for watching. It really means a lot to me. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. We're going to end with just some beautiful shots of the gorge and the waterfall. And yeah, make sure you get out to Jay Cooke State Park. Make sure you check out the Silver Creek Trail. Make sure you check out all the Minnesota Hiking Club trails. If you want to know the password, just go hike the trail. Thanks y'all for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.